Welcome into the Ringerverse. This is, of course, the Ringers Nexus podcast, feed for all things fandom. We are Steve, the architect, Ahlman, the builder and tinker of things. Jomi, the explainer, Adeniran. You've got questions, he's got answers. Old Man Van, he of the resurgent hairline, and Code Baby Chuck, a.k.a. the Brunch Hottie, a.k.a. the 24-karat closer. Together, we are known as the Midnight Boys. Follow us on socials, Insta, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Jomi?
We've got some fun stuff coming, you guys. If you're watching this on Sunday, that means tomorrow's Monday, which means Mission Impossible Monday is back. MI2. We're getting into it.
MI2. So stunts are going to go into
the Academy Awards.
Now.
Congrats.
Finally.
A long fought battle.
Out there. That means that's it. Tom Cruise, 6 Oscars.
He's gonna Mission Impossible 9's coming.
Yeah, I bet you Tom Cruise presents that Oscar and gives that away to like.
Wait, he's
John
not going.
Wick
You don't
or
think he's
something.
going to get nominated for the last Mission Impossible?
He does stunts.
Well, it comes out in the 100th, and I think that's like a year or two away. It won't.
This
won't be
cycle.
in this
It's
cycle.
not this
Yeah.
Oscars.
But also, though, it's probably going to be for the stunt coordinator.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's probably
too,
going to be
yeah.
for the stunt coordinator. So the stunt coordinator. I also think, before we move on, I also think that that casting.
Oh,
Should be an Academy
did
Award.
you see where people were like, they not like legacy, but like, you know, before you hand out the first stunt one, you give it to some people who probably deserved it in the past.
Oh, for sure.
Who needed like an award.
Who are very important to that particular
And
industry.
like at this point they won't get one because for whatever reason. But if the award had existed the last like 20, 30 years, they definitely would have got
This
one.
going to be televised, you think? Did they say?
Yeah, they give out the freaking short animated film
Are there
award every
any
year. Why not?
Oscar categories that aren't televised?
No, they televise all of them.
Right? Really? It's not like the Grammys where
No,
they
no,
like
no.
give
I
all
think
the
so.
black people
No,
the
the
awards.
government-
No. So
They have the Governor Awards, but that's just like, oh, we didn't give Angela Bassett one last
I
year.
think they televise all of the Oscars.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
they
think
do.
they're-
It's not like the
Oh,
Emmys or
yeah.
the
Hell
Grammys.
Yeah, the niggas at the
No race.
Come on,
No
man.
race.
5 minutes
That's one
in,
demerit.
No race. That's one strike.
They gonna do you
No,
like
no, he
Luca,
didn't finish
man.
the
They gonna
sentence.
do you
I
like
think it's
Luca,
fine.
bro.
I was gonna say the niggas.
Oh,
I was gonna say the niggas are and white people are exactly the same in every way, and it's class and not race. No demerit. I didn't finish it. I caught myself. All right, we're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and you can watch every Midnight Boys and House of Art episode on youtube.com/@Ringerverse and also on Spotify. Program here. Tomorrow, House of R will be giving you their deep dive on The Last of Us Season 2, the premiere. They're going to deep dive it. It's the last up to deep dive right there. This week, the Midnight Boys will react to the finale of Daredevil Born Again. High leverage finale, I'd say.
very.
Later this week, Bud Mash breaks down The Last of Us as well. Today on this show, we will be getting into the premiere episode
Yep. Let's go.
of The Last of Us
Let's go.
Season 2. And before we do that, I have something to say.
Oh.
Ooh.
I've heard you guys.
Oh.
I've heard your concerns. I've heard your takes.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong about the Rorschach thing.
Ah!
So here's the deal.
Look at the growth.
They was on your
I have to lead by example.
Okay.
And a lot of times, we don't like to admit when we're wrong.
I love that
But
this
I
is
was-
the first time.
I was obviously wrong about the Rorschach thing. I had people call me up about this.
What?
You was
called you?
homophobes.
Who called you? Well, I had some people in my DMs defending you. But
No. There were plenty of people that defended me and said that Rorschach just doesn't have enough lore, that they understand where I'm coming from, but Rorschach doesn't have enough lore to really defend it. And like Bullseye has so many more feats. Rob from Comics Explained went against me. That would hurt. But
Hate when your idols become your rivals.
I appreciate the fact that some people were able to do this without being dicks about it. But there's always the people like, this nigga never read a comic book in his life. I really love The Watchmen.
yeah.
So
You was riding for your guy. You was
I was
caping
riding
for
for my guy Rorschach. I just love the Shaq. But guys, guess
But
what?
also, why were you riding for Rorschach? He kind of a little MAGA coded.
Oh
He
no,
is for
he's
sure.
a fucking
Wow.
Reddit bro in a costume.
Oh, he
he's
definitely is.
yeah.
Rorschach is, but that's okay though. Like,
No
Is he your guy
race,
though?
no race.
No race. No race. No race.
Is there race with this MAGA?
No race. No race.
No race.
No race. No race. Rorschach, it's completely okay. I was wrong, guys. So you can stop talking about it now.
Great.
Okay?
It's over.
It's over.
You apologize. It's over.
I admit I was wrong. We're gonna break this out too. I'll apologize to the comic community. Well, today's show, instant reactions to the season premiere of The Last of Us. Very, very highly anticipated season premiere.
Yes.
And season 2.
Do you think that this second season will be bigger than White Lotus? Season 3?
Interesting question. I'll answer it as concisely as I can. No.
You don't think so?
You don't think so?
I think that White Lotus season 3, and I don't know this.
Can you look up the viewership for the first season? Because the first season did Last of Us did really well.
I know.
Okay.
I'm White Lotus to me at this point with season 3. It's built up on so many things.
Yeah.
Like when I was at the LA Sinners premiere.
Brag about it.
I'm not bragging about it. It just happened. What?
Okay. I think you might be wrong on this one, Ben.
Oh, give it to me.
Season 1 averaged about 32 million viewers per episode.
32 million viewers?
Yeah.
Yes.
For The Last of Us?
Yes.
How much did White Lotus average?
About 16.
Nigga, what? So
Yeah.
then no.
Last
So
of Us
this
is fucking huge. Last of Us is
How much
Yeah.
did White Lotus season 3 average? Is it 16?
That is 16, yes.
God damn.
Yeah. Last of Us is huge.
But to your point, White Lotus feels bigger to me because every one of my friends is like, "Hey, yo, can we talk about this season 3?" And I'm like, "Have you watched it?"
I think that this is us maybe underestimating the reach of video games. Or maybe me.
And The Last of Us.
Minecraft
It was a
is
show.
booming.
Oh man, they in that theater
Chicken
throwing
jockey
chickens
all the-
around, bro. It's
I
nasty.
don't even understand Minecraft. When
Neither-
I was
that's
at
not
the
my-
thing,
Neither do we.
Well, I understand the movie. I don't understand the memes and why people have gravitated so hard toward this movie.
Yes.
It'd be one thing if they were like, yeah, man, we just grew up watching Minecraft. We love it. We're going to go support. Cool. I was in the theater every single time Jack Black opened his mouth. He got a standing ovation. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
All right. Last of Us spoiler warning. That's 0 for 2 for Van. Steve, give it to us. We're getting ready to talk about
The Last of Us.
You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming. All right, to get you caught up, put you in the know so we don't have to backtrack on the story, Chuck is going to give you the Midnight Manifest. Chuck, give it.
All right, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Full transparency, I did not prepare this, so it's a but to get off the dome.
Great.
Go for it.
All right. Season premiere of Last of Us, written and directed by Craig Mazin. We start, Abby is pissed that Joel murked all the fireflies, and she's like, we gotta get busy, we hunting my man down. Back at the old fortress, Joel is spinning out because Ellie is very plucky and 19 and does not like her father, quote, not father anymore. And also Ellie's acting like Rambo in the middle of the apocalypse, just doing anything and everything. She's crushing on a new lady friend, Dina, and unfortunately, when they go outside to hunt some zombies, they find a new one called the Stalker, and our girl gets bit and has to hide it. Back at the old foundation, we realize Joel's finally going to therapy with Catherine O'Hara. She's like, I hate you. You killed my husband, but you're hiding something from me. And he's kind of just like, I'm not hiding anything. I saved her. And we wrap up the entire episode with Ellie, Dina, getting a little love. Also, unfortunately, a lot of hate. And that's your Midnight Manifest.
I think great job. Give it up for Charles. Pew pew.
No.
It's first of all, let's start there, Chuck.
Well, here's the thing. I gotta say, I like this episode. I love this episode. Most of my critique is gonna be positive. We just have to address the elephant in the room. The pluck was out of control. It was out of control.
We're gonna go pluck corner at the end of the episode.
At the end, so we're saving pluck
We're
corner.
gonna save pluck corner. I'm gonna give a pluck rating every single episode because I think
This one was astronomical.
we can't avoid pluck. Okay, we can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Now, different people have different appreciations of pluck. You guys don't mind pluck. You know
As
why?
long as it's not quarter
because you
flipping.
guys are plucky.
As
Yeah,
long as it's
men boys
not
are
quarter
plucky.
flipping.
I'm honest with myself.
Plucky, sucky, please.
plucky, shucky motherfuckers. The two of
Shucky.
you. Shucky, plucky, goddamn.
I don't know. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll say this about the show. They show Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Yep.
They show it. And right away, the show did something I thought was very important for the show to do.
Yep.
To both put us directly back into the world that we left from the first season, but also show how that world has either disintegrated, devolved, or evolved. And this was a very successful demonstration of a new world set in the same world that we left. We know from the outset that Abby's out to kill Joe, right? Joel.
Joel. Who knows what his name is? Right?
Joel, that motherfucker. We know that she's out to kill him. That sets the framework for this looming danger that we're going to have. But then we get right back into it and we see that their community is kind of bustling.
Yeah.
It's growing, and the problems that they're having are almost contemporary problems of population growth. Refugees, things that we can kind of relate to. And that kind of recontextualizes the series. I thought that was very effective.
I thought, for me, why I love the premiere so much is that Pedro Pascal is just such a great actor. And seeing kind of the growth of Joel as a character, I feel like in the first season, just so life and death, so everything is so high stakes. And to see Joel now, like broken a little bit. Like he's the man. Everybody loves him. Like he's so popular. He has everything that you could kind of want in the apocalypse, except the one thing that he really wants, which is like, hey, Ellie, she's my daughter. And it's kind of when Catherine O'Hara is like, she's not. I was like,
but you know what's funny is that all of that's true, but his problems are sort of normal now, which is tough for him. Like he says it when he's talking to his therapist, he says, or he's talking to someone, it's like, Ellie is 19. She's at a point that I never got with my daughter. So this is uncharted territory.
She's talking to Dina.
Yeah, he's talking to Dina. So this is uncharted territory for me.
And he's even jealous because he's even jealous of Dina because he's like, it's this weird thing where he can kind of see the vision of maybe the daughter that he had and the daughter that he does actually in Ellie, where it's like, oh, she's not listening to me. What does his brother Tommy say? Y'all are the same exact person. And to see that tension of like, I honestly think both of them are having a hard time almost going back to civilization. They both almost have this like feral energy where people look up to them because they can protect them. But there's almost a like, we're not built for this world anymore. We saw too much.
Remember when Tommy was just like, you guys are the same exact person.
Yeah.
That's the energy you're describing. I think this episode in particular strikes a chord with me because it's basically what makes this show special and what makes it different than what a Last of Us adaptation, like most of them, like would have been, which is very action forward, very much, we're killing zombies every week. That's the plan, that's the job. This one, we're pretty much set with Joe. I'm calling him Joe now. Jesus.
Yeah.
With Joel.
Why can't black people say Joel?
That's the L, man.
It's the L. Black people can't say Joe.
Yeah,
My dad used to rest in peace. Billy Joe, man.
Billy Joe now.
Billy Joe be on that goddamn piano.
Joel. Shout out Joel Anderson. But nah, Ellie and Joel, their emotional struggles were highlighted so well in this episode. I thought, again, to your point, what Pedro Pascal was doing in the scene with Dina and the scene with Gail, just how broken he was over the fact that his daughter does not respect him, does not care about him in the way that he would like to. And then Ellie, just complete and utter dickhead, but you get it. Right?
I don't get it. And the way Ellie was moving, I don't get it. I do not.
Bro, you were 19, man. You know, your parents saw the whole thing.
Here's why I actually really love this dynamic, because I'm a fan of both the game and this show. And the relationship that Ellie and Joel form at the end, and so much through like the beginning of that first season, it's forged out of desperation and like accomplishing something and getting her to somewhere, and then realizing that when Joel opens up and is allowing himself to be vulnerable with somebody, he actually doesn't know how to do that in the context of someone that is around his daughter's age, because he will immediately glom onto, I must be a protector, I must be your father, I must be this thing, when Ellie may or may not even really want that. And then this season kicks off with Ellie pretty much knowing that she's been lied to, and 5 years go by, and what does that relationship look like when a person who kind of almost possessively acts like your father for his own kind of selfish reasons, and you kind of just got to go about the world and live along with the things that he works. And while being a teenager, while being like this semi-responsible person that goes out on patrol and goes to dances and has crushes on people in the town, that gets complicated and that gets like wrought really quickly. I can kind of believe the fact that like she doesn't owe Joel like a father relationship.
And I get where you guys are coming from. No, wait. I hear what you guys are saying. I hear what you guys are saying. And I'm not throwing you some bail, but because Joel obviously wants to protect Ellie. That's his whole thing. Just don't send her on a patrol. Don't do this. Put her on the gate duty, whatever. And we know she's capable.
Yeah.
She shows how capable she is. She kills the dude with the thing
No,
with the knife.
she don't.
Hold on,
she got bitch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she's capable, but not as capable as she thinks she is. So Jesus Christ. But Joel still needs to he's right in that he needs to be there. That's the tension.
I get it. But also, Joel saved this little girl's life. Like,
to him.
All right.
To him, what?
To him, no,
to
she's
him,
right.
He did. He robs Ellie of the
agency.
The agency of the choice that she would have made in Seattle had she known that she was going to die.
You guys,
the lead up into that moment when she talks about, to relitigate this choice.
It's the first thing that happens in the episode where she's like, hey,
tell me everything that you did was truthful, and then he lies blatantly, and she knows that he's lying.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes parents gotta lie.
But why does he lie? For him, not for her. For him.
Okay. So I understand what you guys.
I get it, but
I get it, but in a real way, fuck all that.
and that's why Joel needs therapy.
So in a real way, fuck all that. First of all, this is why the show worked. This is why this episode worked, because Ellie is proving in every scene
that Joel's right.
That he's right. She's putting all kinds of people in danger.
Yep.
She's a thrill-seeking 19-year-old doofus. I'm just being for real.
When she jumped on the zombie and started like hacking at, I'm like, this can't be the most efficient way to be doing this.
I mean, but if you know you're immune to zombies, you kind of will act right.
That's fine. Maybe she knows that, but at the same time, their protocol, they're in the apocalypse.
Yes.
This is not call me at 11:30 to make sure you made it to Bennett's house. Y'all over there watching MTV Spring Break. They're in the apocalypse. It's monsters roaming around. I know the kids are going to be kids no matter what.
Yeah, but you also got to be built a little different in the apocalypse, and like the responsibility of you like having a gun by the time you're 16.
I had a gun when I was 7 years old.
I understand that.
So what I'm saying is, I get it. I'm not disagreeing with you, but what I'm saying is that while we're having the conversation about what Joel owes Ellie, I just think it's important to have the conversation about what Ellie owes the entire community. She's been given some responsibility. She has to do patrol. She has to do, and she out here fucking around, not listening to nobody.
Like literally, I was so mad when they see the blood trail, and instead of like stopping, listening to the commander, the person in charge, she's like, all right, guess I'm going straight to danger. I'm like, hey, yo, what is wrong with you?
When Jesse was like, we were there at the beginning before the patrol, and he's like, can you guys at least try to take this seriously? They laugh at his face. I was like, yo, you got to stand up.
So this is, I get it. So this is my thing. This is why it worked, because what we're seeing is a set of problems that exist outside of the will we survive structure, which is what the first season was about. The first season was about, will we survive? Will we survive this? That's pretty much out. They have some things going. Now, obviously, there's always going to be threats to the town or threats to the thing. And you see that there could be a horde coming and things like that. That's why I used to love The Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead, Rick and the crew, I remember there was one episode where it starts, they're all fucked up, and they scavenging through houses, eating dog food and shit, and they all fucked up, and they come upon a community, and it's like, oh my God, Rick and them have come on the community, and I'm thinking that the people in the community are like, y'all are fucked.
In
Y'all
3
know-
weeks, this will be burnt to the ground.
My favorite thing about The Walking Dead, by the end of it, I'm like, hey y'all, if y'all see Rick, Michonne,
Kill Rick.
You know,
If you see Rick and Michonne and the rest of them, kill them or say y'all can't come in.
That's why Joel's like, build that wall.
That's what I'm saying. And so, wow.
Joel did it.
Yo, that was crazy.
Steve.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Joel said it. Joel did it.
No,
He's
here's
like,
the thing, and I felt so bad because this is why the episode worked for me. Because to Steve's point, when Joel was just like, "Hey, yo,
let
can't be
him
letting these motherfuckers in," I was just like, he kind of spitting, and I was like,
Hey, listen.
I was like,
You a refugee too.
You're a refugee
You a
too. That was, hey, we're a nation of immigrants.
yeah,
Yeah, we're all on the same side
We're
here.
a nation of immigrants. Joel, remember, you're a refugee too. But even the tension in that scene is we can't build faster. There's a limit. It's the dead of winter.
Right.
The
We don't have time to make a
resources.
school.
You got to turn up the
and all
dial. You got to
these-
turn up the build dial.
Yeah.
Also, and because she was asking, it's so funny where it's like, to your point, first season is surviving. Now they're trying to thrive. And everything that they're asking for in that scene is stuff where I'm just like, this isn't really about surviving. Like, he's like, okay, so the window is a little cold. Okay, so you don't have root. Like, it's.
Well, the window's cold because they're out of caulk because they're using it in other places and their resources are strained.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that I get into.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I get into because it doesn't seem like they have electricity. Do they have
No,
electricity?
they do. They do.
They have electricity.
They have electricity. Okay.
Also, because I was into like when he goes to Gail, his therapist, and he's paying in
With
weed.
weed.
In weed, yeah.
And she's like, I think it was her husband, the husband that died, that was
That
like
Joel killed.
that Joe killed. That was the weed farm. She's like, his shit used to be sticky. I'm like, hey yo, sis, it's the apocalypse. Like
we're
just
really
the
like,
shit, bro.
Nah, she
She
said,
had a couple drinks in her, you know.
She
what I mean?
said
Yeah, she's a
that
little
shit.
drunk.
That was the best scene in the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can
Because-
talk about that scene all day. That's
that was the
an
best
amazing.
scene in the show. First of all, she goes, "Look, that's the buzz used to be huge and it used to be sticky like a motherfucker." Like she talking that
Sticky
shit.
like glue.
Sticky like glue. The reason why that was the best scene in the show, in my opinion, is because that's the scene to me that most exemplifies the choices that you would have to make in a situation like that.
Yeah.
Right. Everything becomes scarce in the apocalypse, but also people become scarce. It's like right now, you can meet somebody and go, I'm not fucking with that person for whatever they did to me. And then you can decide to turn the page on them because it seems like we have an endless resource of people.
Yeah.
Now, the older you get, you start to realize that you don't. And that makes you kind of hold closer to people. But in the apocalypse, you don't. You don't have an endless resource of people. You don't know when you don't know if you want to see more people.
Mhm.
So the choices that you have to make about how you connect and really reconcile with the people that are there, because not only do you have to live with them, you have to build with them. There's probably not that many therapists.
Yeah.
You can't just go to another therapist.
I mean,
Also,
there was
they-
even a good scene where it was like when Dina and what's her face? I'm forgetting her name.
Ellie?
And Ellie are writing, and it's like, oh, she's just like, that's your girl. She's like, she's kind of the only lesbian here. And I was just
Yeah.
like, she didn't say lesbian, but I was like, oh, this is the apocalypse.
Even the worst thing, the only other one.
The other,
I
like
was
she said it in a way where I was like, damn, girl.
That's crazy.
That's,
If you still homophobic in the apocalypse,
that was crazy.
you just gotta. That's when
That's
I would
also
become,
crazy
that's when I
how
would become the
was
governor.
wild.
Yeah.
because I would just hang you. I would have been like,
like of all the things to worry about,
we don't have fucking time for it. Like if I was the fucking if I ran the apocalypse town, there would be a thing. It'd be like, hey, I'm just letting y'all all know, y'all can all have. We gonna all eat some boar later. It's all gravy. If you racist or sexist or homophobic, it's death penalty. We don't have time.
I
for
shoot
it.
you on the spot.
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
we
we
don't
don't
have
have
time.
time.
Zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance.
No warning.
Right.
We don't have time for it. Like I get it back when we had Lay's and Doritos and stuff.
and the world was a bit more complicated.
Yeah, we had extra time, but we don't have time for the bullshit now.
Right.
You're dead.
I'd argue we don't have time for
first
it
of all,
right
that's
now.
how,
It's
that's
also
how
great-
militant you are about Doritos.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, because I'm like, hey, yo, this is apocalypse. Y'all drinking on some nice whiskey. There's some music. Why you gonna ruin the dance
Hey.
being homophobic? I'm like,
Well, I mean, because he started off as a family event. You're like, all right, maybe it's
Too much kissing on
too
the
much
dance
kissing
floor.
on the dance floor. There might be
Fine,
children around.
no.
when she calling slurs, it was like, nah,
You dead.
slide, yeah. we
Whoa,
gotta
whoa,
slide.
whoa. But even when he was like, "Oh, this is a church," like I didn't even understand when they was making out in the middle of dance. Where I'm like, these kids don't seem motherfuckers.
Like, come on,
they
we got
don't
zombies
seem
outside.
mushroom
We can
people
make out on the
rise
dance
out of
floor.
it. Like, I think some kissing is fine.
I would have, had I been Joel, I would have domed him in front of everybody. I would have came up, boom. And then
maybe I was like, what is your problem?
Then I would have given a speech. You guys don't get it.
And then your
It's a
therapist.
new day.
Meanwhile, your therapist is in the corner
You know,
drinking like,
the
oh boy.
whole
I seen that
thing,
one before.
Like, what did like remember when Timmy went bad in Dune 2?
I'll take your daughter's hand.
Remember when he was talking? No, not that part.
Before, right?
The part where he was screaming at him.
Scream at the whole cave.
Yo,
Yeah.
I went back and watched it, and it is worse than I remember.
No, it's so bad.
Yeah.
He's insane. I am
And
the
then Glaze
way.
and they're like, yeah!
That's what I would have done.
But
But
Catherine O'Hara's face when she was just like, "Not my problem."
That's crazy,
I was
bro.
dying.
But that scene in particular, and again, it exemplifies the like just the distance between Joel and Ellie, because he does, what you're supposed to do when somebody's messing with your daughter. You're like, hey, back up. She like, yo, hey, I could have handled that, bro. Mind your business. It's like, what do you? Am I not supposed to do something?
we're careening towards Pluck Corner. Like we're
Let's divert. Let's divert.
let's
divert.
divert.
All right, we
Come
divert
back.
because I don't want to
Yeah.
skip over and what you were saying about Catherine O'Hara and Pedro Pascal, because the acting in that
Incredible.
was insane.
She's a vet.
When
I mean, between
Pedro
that and the
is-
studio, that and the studio,
Yeah.
she's doing her
She's also
thing
having
right
a
now.
moment. Beetlejuice. She also was
Yeah.
like, she's having a moment. She's a
Respect.
vet. Love her.
when Pedro was like, "I'm a good man," I'm like, "Dog, that's how you know you cook." Because any single time my man's like, "I'm a good man," I'm like,
This is my favorite thing about the show, because it's that interesting thing, because like in the last season, Ellie was going through somebody's house, and she was like looking at somebody's diary, and she was like, was this what girls were worried about back then? Like worrying about boys and what to wear on a Saturday night and some shit. And when you look at a scene like that, when you have two people that were clearly around before the world went bad, and not only are they carrying the things that they have to worry about in a community that relies on them, but having to kind of make sense of themselves in a world that completely flipped over overnight. Joel doesn't understand that the work that you have to do in that room with a therapist is tell on yourself and be the level of honest that makes you scared enough to change. And he still won't do it. And even when his therapist, whose husband he murdered, and it confesses that she hates him for that, and she's still willing to move forward with that, he won't budge.
I think that he played that. So the reason why I love that scene is because I'm not so sure what more he could have done. He could have been honest, but at the same time, he gave her as that scene is a brilliant to the point, and that's why it's meant to be interpreted differently.
Okay.
That scene's a brilliant give or take, right? He probably, maybe he's not ready to be honest, but from the beginning, anybody that's been in therapy, from the beginning, she subverts what a typical interaction in that in that context is. She's drinking, she's curt. They're almost never curt.
Yeah, and they're way too personal.
Like she's drinking, she's curt. She criticizes his payment.
Yeah.
She at the beginning of it, she does not have time for his shit. There's something she has got to tell him, and he has got to listen. I actually do not, in the moment, blame him for not knowing what to say to her because he's there for help.
Yeah.
And she says, look, not only do I not want to help you, I've tried to help myself by changing my orientation towards you, and I can't do it.
Right.
So I don't know anyone who would be, man, one time I was in therapy with my therapist, and she had a fight with her husband.
Oh.
And she was trying to get through it and trying to do the whole thing.
Through the session, you mean?
Through the session, yeah. She was trying to get through it, trying to do the whole thing. And I actually felt played. I was actually like, yo, can you do this? And then I was like, whoa.
Oh.
I was like, hey, I really, in a real way, I can make time to reschedule. She goes, thank you. Thank you. And then the next session, she told me what it was that she had been going through. But I was so in crisis at that point that my first reaction was to be like, hey, man, like, you know what I mean? Like, snap to it. This is your job. So that scene to me wasn't just about them. It was also about so many of the interactions that people in those towns probably have to have.
And this, can I ask something here for like how we go about the show? This insight is like kind of something that like at this point in The Last of Us Part 2, the game, there's a interaction that Joel has with somebody else where he opens up a bit more in a context like this, and it kind of changes and unburdens him from a couple of the things that he did with Ellie that kind of acted as his therapy session, but like it moves on a bit quickly. And I'm curious as to like the contrast between Joel having not really told anybody in the subsequent 5 years what happened with Ellie and him in that hospital. And to kind of be carrying that for so long and still not want to, be it shame, be it, guilt, or, being the guy that possibly prolonged the apocalypse and prevented a cure. Like, I'm curious as to know what that guilt like looks like.
I mean, it looks like what he's doing right now.
No, yeah.
That's why when you guys are like, man, your team Joel, like, I can't believe Ellie would act like this. She knows he lied to him about something.
Well, also to be fair, I've interpreted the last season as when Joe gets to the fireflies and all that shit. He's kind of like, or gets to the hospital. He's a little freaked out because he's like, she might die for nothing. There's multiple people have died during this process. Is a cure really real? I'm not making that. So
he made a selfish decision, though.
He did.
At the end of the day, he made a selfish decision.
Yeah. The decision was made for him.
So, but let's talk it out. What do you think? You think maybe not? You think maybe he was? You think he thinks he was? So he saved her life either way. Do you think he saved her life for her, or did he save her life for him?
I think he made the choice that a parent would make, which makes it kind of like you understand it, where you're just like, hey, I understand that like my daughter might want to sacrifice herself for the greater good. But Ellie was how old? She was what, 14? Like I do get it. Like it's like that's why it's such a good show, where you're just like you're taking the choice out of this girl or maybe woman's hands, but like also that's what parents do all the time, where you're just like, hey, yo, you're too young for
Doesn't
this.
make it right though.
But it doesn't make it wrong.
And that's why
it makes it complicated.
That's why it's complicated.
It's complicated. That's why it's complex. And that's what it is. Like,
that's why it's tough for Joel to change, because he's in that room and she asks him dead in the face, you are lying about something. What are you lying about? And he's like, I'm a good man. And every single person who watches the show knows not that you're not a good man, but you are absolutely hiding something. That's cap.
And you don't think you're a good man. You're just saying
that. Bro, sometimes you gotta lie, bro.
But he's clearly, but he's also lying to himself. Like he does feel bad about this.
He feels bad about it.
I'm not saying what Joel did was right,
it wasn't right, but
it's not. I don't think it was wrong.
Sometimes you gotta lie.
Yeah, but that's the magic.
That's why it's good.
Everything this episode did, it clearly illustrates that neither him nor Ellie have ever talked about that ever again.
Well, I think that
they've never actually come to terms with the fact, like, yeah, I lied to you.
Well, she's acting like a fucking brat. And so I don't know that he feels like there's an open line of communication. And by the way, her acting like a brat, 19 is a little old, but her develop 19 is a little old. Like her development is arrested.
She get to go to college?
Man, bro, by the time I got to be 19 or 20, there was kind of like an understanding. At this point, you're a sophomore in it, like you're a sophomore, a freshman, there was kind of an understanding. 17, 16, but remember, Ellie's development is arrested because probably moving a little bit slower because
generations in apocalypse.
Right. So she's probably experiencing her teenage years like angst. Right about now. Yeah. The angst and all of it. She's falling in love for the first time.
She was in Nirvana.
Remember, she had a girlfriend before that had died because of this, and like that was kind of the whole impetus of being like, if I ever sacrifice my life, like it has to be for something. It can't be for
I think the genius of the show too is that not only did Joel and Ellie not talk about it, but kind of like the metaphor, the underlying thing is like she's trying to scream like, hey, I'm immune. And Tommy's like, we don't talk about it. And it's like, I'm just like, oh, this is a metaphor for her sexuality as well, where it's just like, oh, she's lived 5 years in this closet of like, I can't be my full self.
And she just wants to scream it.
And she just wants to scream out loud. And like these two men in her life, in Joel and Tommy, are like, her family's like
tamping that down.
So I do get why she's like, so like, I just want to kill something. I just want to get out there. I don't want to be trapped here with
which I like the Tommy scene a lot. And I think it's very interesting that Tommy lied about it to Joel.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, who are you shooting with? Just me, man. It's like, well, we know that's not true.
Oh, but that's that uncle shit.
That's uncle shit.
That's that uncle shit. It's like, hey, Dad, can you teach me how to, teach me to whip it? I don't want to like get a driving lessons. Like, nah, I don't feel like I can't do it. I can't do it. Stay in the house. And then, rest in peace, Uncle Mark will be like, got you. So he go out in the back.
Take her out shooting.
Teach me how to drive, and then come back and be like, where y'all was at? Oh, we was about there playing basketball. Where we van? I was like, yeah, but he really took me back there and was teaching me how to drive.
I'm the worst uncle because like, what about little niece and nephew are acting up? I do the mental calculation. I'm just like, y'all were some assholes today, but I know your parents gonna whoop your ass. So can I like, I'm like, sometimes I'm like, do I tell them? Do I really give them the whole thing?
Like, it was an all right day.
It just can't be me. It can't be me that's gonna lead to it. Like I'll tell your parents, but I'm not gonna tell them. And you can pretty much have whatever you want. Just leave me the fuck alone. Okay, but
you gotta be like, hey, listen, they was out there like that glass vase, that was them. But at the same day, like, look, I got you. Like, don't worry about them. Like, take it easy. You know what I mean? Like, chill out on my little homie. You feel me? Like,
no scars, no bars. If you don't do nothing, whoa, no scars. I'm saying if you don't do nothing where they could tell, like if you don't do nothing where they could like where it's a scar where you got like a big scar on your face, and I gotta be like, yeah, he fell. Then I won't rat on you. No scars, no bars. Okay. I won't rat on you. If you don't do nothing that where it's as obvious, like if you break your leg, I'm not gonna be like, oh shit, that nigga just laying down. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, he's fine. Okay, that's what you mean by that. Okay.
Yeah. Nigga, don't do this. That's my family.
I didn't clarify. I don't know what that means.
Nah, fuck all that. Don't.
I don't know what that means.
Don't play with me and my fucking family.
I'm not trying to play with you and your family.
Yo. All right, so outside of Dina, how we feel about Dina?
She's awesome.
Dina's awesome. Dina is awesome, but she also messy as hell.
She's the worst person to put with Ellie, man.
Yeah.
You're so drunk.
Ellie,
no, I'm not. I'm high.
Ellie don't need nobody to egg her on, bruh. Ellie do not need a player too. When they're on the patrol, they see the blood, and Ellie's like, "Let's go." And Dina's like, let's go. And then they get to this place, they're like, we're going inside.
Kat's a terrible manager.
And Kat had no control over the situation at all. We got to talk about her. Yeah. Right? When they're they're like, they have the guns. They're like, oh, is that one? No, it's two. Then they go knives only, like it's a lasso mission. Yeah. Like, y'all are not serious, man. Like,
when they took the knives out, I'm like,
they're a great team.
They're a great team, but like,
they're a horrible team.
You guys should know, because Dina was great. She's like, I know you're gonna move, but please stay fucking put while I get down there.
It's thing one and thing two. Just like two people it's bring back Arcane. It's like a book street.
Yeah.
With y'all are not locked in. I know you're not locked in.
Just finish the fucking shit that you're saying, and I'll go look it up after.
I will look it up. He's like on Urban Dictionary and Meme Report. It's like, okay, what was that?
It's like you have those two characters who separately probably have like some brain cells working, but as soon as you put them together, there's nothing going on up there. They just out there wild, and that's Dina and Ellie.
Who's Dina's boyfriend? I liked him.
Jesse
was just like,
Jesse's gonna get so tired of this bullshit.
I felt bad for Jesse because Dina must have said like, "Hey, yo, you not the one."
Hey, if my ex starts dancing with somebody and then steals my drink,
the game is a game, player.
Dina,
what are you gonna do with the apocalypse?
Dina is a little. Dina adds a flair to the show that the show.
Oh no, she's great.
She does it because like even like her devil may care attitude, the fact that she moves throughout the town with this like fierce, uncompromising beauty and fearlessness, like with everyone, even when she's like talking to Joel at the beginning, brilliantly written scene.
Yeah,
and he asks her, how do you how do you tell whether or not the wire's in here alive? And she goes, I licked them. I was like,
And then you make the same face Joel makes.
Sorry, you're not being serious.
that's interesting that she said that. And it's interesting writing. It's cheeky when you really think about it. Like, how does Dina figure out whether or not something is alive? She licks it. Like, I'm just being I'm telling you guys, these writers be in these rooms. I'm telling you, bro, these writers be in these rooms.
No. Say what you're trying to say.
These writers be in these rooms and they be putting little subtext in there like that. Like, and so when I first saw that scene, I was like, oh, so she likes to incite something, and she incites people in different ways. Yeah. The way she will incite Ellie is to awaken something in Ellie sexually. She likes to incite people. She's a fire starter. Which was
crazy.
You know what I mean?
On the dance floor, the whispering. Come
on.
Wait, so
here's the thing. She's faded though.
She's faded, but still though.
If you guys don't want light spoilers, fast forward 30 seconds. But to your point, are the writers getting a little too cheeky? Because like Joel's nephew was like, pow, pow, pow. And Joel's like, oh. Or like Dina was like, yeah, everybody should know you're a threat. And I'm like, all right, we get it. Like there was a lot of foreshadowing happening in this episode.
I mean, so now you have to remember, I don't know anything that's happened. So we should say this real quick. Who knows where this story goes in here right now? I don't.
I generally know.
I had the opportunity in I watched a little bit of it, enough to know the major sticking point that people had with the show,
with the game, and
the show now. But I made the conscious decision because I really never played the game. I made the conscious decision to at some point stop learning.
Sure.
Yeah. So like what you just said, I know the central tension that people are having with it. I won't talk about it right here, so as not to spoil it as it relates to but there are parts of it that I don't know what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so like for you guys, like, did you see some of that as like heavy foreshadowing, or just like they're being a little cheeky?
The whole thing is heavy. The whole thing is.
Yeah, but you could read a lot into that, but there's also like a number of new things that the show introduces. Not only is there like characters that we know that we have not seen even lightly referenced in the game that will seemingly get a whole story with. Like we know Joey Pants is in this show as a character that was even like minutely referenced in the game, so that might have like a lot more to do with a lot of things. There's a lot of new places that the show can go with zagging that the games didn't have, like a possible like infection in Jackson, a la those rusty pipes with the yearning tendrils. That was not in the game at all.
Are we getting ahead of ourselves right now?
I think so.
There's a lot of places that I think that the show can go that the game hasn't, and I think it has already proven that in episode 1.
So, one thing I wanted to ask y'all, I'm not getting into the toxicity of this conversation, but what this first episode, I was wondering, Ellie's 19, right? And I was kind of wondering, I'm like, is she too kid-like? Is it, how do I put this? There was a lot of pluck, and I was wondering, how do you get the character of Ellie and that performance to be a little bit more centered and a little bit something that I can like take her a little bit more seriously as the thrust of the story, if that makes any sense?
So I think this is purposefully done. So I'm going to be doing a pluck rating every week, and I'm going to start it right now.
Okay.
The rating is out of 10. This is a 10 level pluck.
It was 12 to me.
It's 10 level pluck. The pluck starts earlier when she didn't want the big ass nigga to knock her out. The fuck you want? Like they're not gonna knock you out. They're not gonna knock you
Raiders
out.
Raiders won't pull a punch.
They're not gonna knock you out. Get your fucking ass up and go over there. They already bust your shit. And then he was trying to tap. He didn't let him. Just everything about it is wrong. She's plucking. She's screaming. Like these things can hear. She's like she's
things can hear.
She's like, I'm telling you, she's screaming. She's screaming about being immune. No one can control her. She's out of control.
I mean, even when she falls through the fucking ceiling and Dina's like, hey, yo, just stay put. Bro, just stay put.
I hate pluck. Y'all fucking around. Y'all doing unnecessary shit. All right. We barely got enough grain to last us through the winter. Please don't make it harder. Okay. She's plucky. However, I thought about this. I think that's intentional because I think her arc is going to be from plucky, devil-may-care teenager who doesn't take anything seriously to someone who understands their importance and the importance of structure in a time like this. And I think that's going to be the central arc of the season.
I think that you're likely right. And I think what this first episode did as far as establishing who Ellie is at 19, it almost is kind of aware of the criticisms, not only that has plagued the first season of Last of Us, but the first and second game, where a lot of like bad faith critics of, The Last of Us were like, I can't take Ellie seriously as like a physical threat or as a possible like.
I'm not saying that. I was more so thinking
and that's not the thing, because like all of those things are like stupid and frankly like not worth dignifying. But the show is where they're like, hey, yeah, she can kick somebody's ass. She does know her way around a gun.
I'm glad you brought that up. We about to stop giving that oxygen.
It's sure. And honestly, I feel half bad even saying.
It's gravy. It's gravy because we're gonna get to it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We about to stop talking about. We about to stop validating you guys and your incessant need to be haters and dicks and assholes online with everything that you say. We're gonna make y'all turn the channel by turning the channel on y'all. Like every time we get a female lead, a black lead, a gay lead, a trans lead, I'm not about to have a conversation about these assholes every single time we do it.
It's annoying.
We not. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have brought it up, Steve. Just let you know.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I get it. We've heard it. We're going to talk about The Last of Us. We're going to talk about The Acolyte. Actually, we won't be talking about it. We're going to talk about the shows, the thing, the deal. We're not about to talk about y'all. Because this is a new way of those same people centering themselves in conversations we should be having about things that we love. So we're not doing that no more.
And the main crux of Ellie in this first episode is that she is a character that can get under people's skin sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially Joel, who's like desperately trying to crack the idea of a relationship with her again, and it's just not happening because it's not the same. And then she seeks all of that in Dina and acting out and like with Tommy and all those other things. And I think that that's something that is even better illustrated than it was in the games when it is in this first episode. I'm very confident in the fact that like Ellie's got like a very good kind of like character structure in these first few moments.
We're going to talk about Abby at any point because I have thoughts.
Yeah. What do you got thoughts for Abby?
5 years of hating is kind of crazy. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, you ain't never been a
I'm
real
not going
hater.
to lie to you. In the apocalypse,
that's all she got left. That's the only thing keeping her going. That's the only thing keeping her warm at night.
They killed the whole fucking crew.
I feel like there are bigger things at stake to where.
Oh, hell no. I've never disagreed with you more.
So check this out,
You gotta get your lick back.
He killed the whole crew.
From like tracking him all the way. First of all, it took you 5 years to go from Seattle to Jackson.
I mean, you got to find the guy.
That's what I'm saying, right?
How you find somebody in the
That's got to be fucking
hard.
hard.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
It would take 5 years.
Like, she was even like, yeah, we don't know if he's Joel or Joe. And she was just like, hey, yeah, he's like 5'11",
a scar on his face.
I was like, shit, she locked in.
Some people.
And that's where I'm at, like, because
Kendrick
that's why. Honestly, that's what it might have to be.
Yeah,
Joel. In a regular time, in like normal times, like all that kind of hate, what do you got to really worry about? You just got to get your lick back. That's cool. It's the apocalypse, man. There's zombies, raiders, this whole thing. It's mighty dangerous to sacrifice all that for a lick.
Yeah, but maybe it's the guy that might have cost you the cure.
Maybe, but it's also the
once
apocalypse.
again, we
but
keep
it's also
going back to the
super
cure.
duper hate. That's hate.
To them, that was the cure.
That's
we
hate
don't
on a
know if
level
that was the cure.
It might not have been, right? But you still killed my pops. I can understand that. But again, there's so much other stuff going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
For that to keep you warm, keep you alive for 5 years, we might have never, ever seen hate on this level in fiction ever.
And this is the best part about The Last of Us, like in all forms. You can empathize with almost every single character that's on screen. Pretty much. If you were in Abby's shoes, you might be doing the same thing. If
I
you were in
don't
Joel's
know, man.
shoes, you might be doing the
After a couple
same
years,
thing.
you gotta be like,
Ellie, I can't get on board with
I
that.
mean,
can't get on you.
Ellie's a bit of a unique case.
I can't get on board with that.
Ellie was the spin at all.
Ellie,
So I was just like,
Ellie didn't have a very strong episode.
Do not let
Ellie,
Ellie cook. Is that what you were saying?
Ellie, even at the end, when
barbecue.
that was funny.
Barbecue is great.
That was
Dina
funny.
rules.
That just showed Dina is just Dina got
she's-
game.
Dina's like- Dina's the light of Jackson.
Riz,
She is
Dina
game.
rizzed up.
W
Riz. Dina's biggest Riz moments were when they were getting ready to go on patrol, and she's looking at Ellie. I'm like, Ellie, man, she throwing you the vibes. What's up?
Yeah,
Ellie
yeah.
too scared. She rizzed her up with the barbecue. She rizzed her up in the
dance?
in the dance, right?
Yeah.
This Ellie's worst moment was the dude called you a D word. Joel pushed him down and said, "Get out." And you said, "What are you doing to Joel?" I'm like, I would have snapped. I'm like,
Joel is so sad.
After you domed him, you would have turned the gun. You'd be like, yo.
boom, boom. I'm Joel.
all right,
Crashing out at all of Jackson.
I'm telling you. And then I would have
D1 crash
I would have given the Dune speech again.
I am pointing the way.
I am Joel.
Oh, my days.
None of you are free from my wrath.
They called this planet Doom.
honestly, I was mad at Ellie too. I was just like, hey, yo, you was just beating up the homie earlier in the episode, and that was like, I'm like, Joel pushed him down. You need to jump in. You got to get a couple stomps in, and then be
By the
like,
way, she was advancing towards him.
Yeah.
Like she
was
was about
gonna
to do
handle it.
something.
I mean, she might have, but even Dina was like, yo, you don't got to do all that.
well,
Like, we
no,
can-
here's the thing. I get why Ellie was upset. I'm just like, hey, yo, you could punch this motherfucker and get
You robbed me of my righteous
and then be
death.
like to Joel, that was fucked up. I got it handled. I don't need you.
You robbed me of my righteous death, and now you robbed me of a righteous ass whooping.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Look, it wouldn't have been no kiss if it wasn't for Joel. All right? You'd have been kissing, it would have been kissing Joan of Arc or somebody like in the upper room.
All right.
Like it wouldn't, like you wouldn't, it wouldn't,
And we all would have been cured.
like, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have been no kiss. I have a question about the cure. Will the cure kill the people who have already been mushroomed?
I mean, well, that we don't know that because
I think
that's never the case.
I thought the cure was more like just a vaccine. So if
Yeah,
you
it's a
get
vaccine.
bitten, like
straight, yeah.
you're good.
Okay.
But it wouldn't cure the zombies.
So, okay, because that's different.
No, yeah, it's not like
Because
you
if the cure will
inject
kill
it and
the
they're like, I'm human
if the
now.
cure will kill the zombies, Ellie gotta go. Because then you could bring everybody
No,
back.
they don't kill the zombie. There would
Yeah.
be no way. They're decaying. They're like fucking.
You would
mushrooms.
just, it
Well,
would
here's the
probably-
thing,
everybody
even
would
if
be
maybe
like
they would-
Ellie.
Okay, say everybody's immune, then
Then
once you just
you
kill
starve,
all the
you just
zombies,
starve them. Yeah,
you just
the
wait
job-
out the zombies.
You
Yeah.
know what?
All
I have
dead.
a question. If let's say
Man, how you gonna get the cure to France? What's
they'll
going on
work
in
that.
France? Last of Us, France. What's
Terror-
going on?
the terrorists,
Last of
you
Us.
know,
Like what's going on in Nigeria? What about us? Like
That's the show name.
once again,
Right.
strike two,
The
man.
Last of Us season 3. What about us?
So I gotta ask y'all, Fifth Midnight Blade, Last of Us. Let's say Bozeman has the cure. Hey, Bozeman wants to be
God,
sacrificed. He's like, I want to go.
you guys are dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
Mint boys, are y'all letting Bozeman die for the cause? Because I wouldn't.
no, you guys are dead. Like
I
everyone,
can't-
no,
I can't kill Buzz.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no way.
Well, because
Exactly.
if I kill Bose, then you're gonna be Abby to me, and I'm getting
Yeah,
hungry.
and then it won't take no 5 years.
Lisan Al Lathan Al Gaid.
If I show up and I'm already dead, and you get there, you're gonna be like McNulty seeing
So
Stringer. in the wire.
it's cool to say Bozeman, but Ellie can't. Joel can't save Ellie.
No, I'm team saver, bro. Like, that's your
Exactly.
little daughter.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you had to make a call.
You kill Bozeman.
I kill Ellie.
All right, well, you kill Bozeman. That's what you're saying. You would kill Bozeman.
See,
That makes
You've
sense.
always
That-
Steve's
that-
always hated Bozeman.
That tracks too.
Why,
Steve's never
no,
liked
no, no,
Bozeman.
Bozeman
Only
like
really-
you the most too.
Steve, no, he likes you the most.
Nah, he likes
you,
Jomi the
you
most.
and Chuck. But the only reason that he's so fond of Jomi is because Jomi's gonna be a good dad. Jomi doesn't get what I like to call pat fatigue. Like
Oh, right. He'll always.
Jomi will sit there with Bozeman, and Bozeman is the type of dog doesn't get tired of being patted. Jomi will sit there with Bozeman. I've seen
All day.
I've seen him pat Bozeman for an entire half of football. And to a point where I'm like, Bozeman, leave Jomi alone. And Jomi's like, Nah, he's cool.
But I've also seen Bozeman try to get some love from Steve, and Steve was like,
Nah, get off me.
get away.
But here's the thing though. When a certain lovely lady is around with Steve, then Steve
puts
is
on a show.
Steve puts a very, very compassionate because she loves animals. Steve is a fake. Steve, like
I am a fraud.
When a certain lovely
For
lady
the right
is
reasons,
around,
I am a fraud.
They sit down and
I can't be bought.
they play with Bozeman together because she loves Bozeman.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful soul.
You're so fake.
You're so
Bozeman
fake.
just
I
wants
can be
like
bought.
a real
I can't be
connection
bought.
with you.
No shame in
All right.
fraudulence.
So as we wrap up, the show is back. The world is back. I think we've pretty much discussed everything. Danger on the horizon. What do you see as being? I mean, I know that you guys have played the game, but what do you guys see as being the most potent danger?
Well, the pipes.
Yeah, that was
right.
Right,
wild.
the mushrooms
Yes.
coming out of the
Yeah.
pipes, crazy. There's also new stalker. We didn't really talk about the new type.
Oh,
of,
we need. You know what? Before I even do that, actually, let's just do it now. Just keep.
So
keep
there's
going.
the
Yeah.
mushroom. There's the mushrooms coming through the pipe. There's the new stalker, and I guess the zombies are becoming smarter because even the bear. It seems like what they said that it was only like 6 who like destroyed a whole fucking
Yeah.
bear, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
And it seems like what's Tommy's wife's name?
Ooh.
Oh, Maria.
Yeah, she was basically being like, yo, there seems to be a horde or there seems to be something coming towards them.
So the stalker represents the biggest concern that I would have if I was in the apocalypse in the situation that they're in,
Yeah.
which is the evolution of the actual zombies.
Yeah, that
I mean,
council could have been doing some more
Because
diligence
also
there.
that zombie sounded human. It wasn't doing the click, 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 click sound. It was
Yeah, they're
like,
clicking. Yeah.
it wasn't clicking. It didn't rush her.
Nose.
It hid.
It had like a crown.
And
too.
like the whole, it
Yeah.
looked like what's the dude on Netflix that got the show?
Oh, the baby reindeer or whatever?
Nah,
The-
not him. That show
the
was crazy.
baby
Well,
reindeer?
he is a reindeer, but he's on
Sweet
Netflix. Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth.
He looked
Yeah.
that motherfucker looked like
Antler
a Sweet
boy.
Tooth. I
Yeah.
thought Sweet Tooth was in that bitch. And so that is a very present, like a very direct danger.
Mhm.
The show is always going to be a tension between the danger of humanity and the danger of things that are subhuman or superhuman,
Correct.
which would be the zombies. And it gave us kind of both dynamics. The animus that exists inside the town, the actual real. We don't have enough resources. There's still hate inside the town. Joel now has a new enemy because this guy called her the D word. And at the same time, what would be the most concerning thing to me is the zombies are evolving.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that, and I'm curious to see the implementation of this backstory between Joel and his therapist's husband, because that's an unexplored avenue in the game, and obviously I think that we're gonna have to see something in like either a flashback or added context there that probably adds to what's going on in
so
Joel's
I'm not
life.
tripping. Eugene wasn't in this.
Eugene was
No.
Eugene was mentioned in the game, and he was a character that had seemingly passed away of natural causes
In
from
the game.
in the game, and now that's a completely different
Yeah.
story here.
Because
So,
I was tripping on that too. I was like, I don't know Eugene from season 1. What's going on?
Yeah.
I looked back. I was like, this is something that we're probably gonna mention now.
mm,
I mean, something happened in the past. We're gonna see in the future.
I will say,
Yeah.
killing someone's husband and then acting like they're going to just be the greatest therapist as well. I'm like,
That's nuts.
I'm like,
and,
Joel
the town,
arrogant.
and the town weed dealer of all people.
Joel arrogant.
can't kill the weed man.
Yeah, Joel killed the weed man and then went to his wife for help.
You can't do that, bro.
Joel,
on,
Savage.
man.
also, if we being real, if you killed a weed man, everybody in town will be so
Exactly.
pissed. They like, we
What's
haven't got
worse, killing the
shit.
cure or killing the weed man?
I mean, we talked about it a little earlier, but that weed looked garbage.
It was.
Well, because Joel ain't good at they killed the nigga who knew how to make
think
the
about it.
sticky like
Imagine you
glue,
was
icky,
like-
icky dicky.
Imagine it's like, yo, man, like, come bring a dime or whatever, and come with like sticks, bro.
Yeah.
You gonna be hot.
But also, the weed man didn't pass it down. He didn't have like some people where he's
some
like
tutelage.
some tutelage. Like, he's like,
These are the skills that need to carry on
Yeah,
in the
we gotta-
apocalypse.
You know what we never really discussed? What dispensary culture has really done to people's weed diets.
What do you mean by that?
This is what I mean. Like, in Baton Rouge, you had to smoke bad weed.
yeah,
Right.
You had to
Ah.
smoke bad weed. Like, it was, in Baton Rouge, one person, two people had really good weed.
Mm.
And then guys was living like kings. All right?
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody else, if you want to smoke weed, you have to smoke some bad weed. But when I came out to LA, I remember walking in my roommate's room one time, and I was like, God damn, whoa, shit, what y'all in this bitch smoking? And they weren't smoking it. They had just opened the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They weren't smoking it.
It's a different cut.
Smoking on it, man, where you were just like
Oregano, bro.
I'm not saying that we always had bad weed. I'm just saying you could get bad weed.
And once you know good weed, then it's like
and then there hasn't been bad weed since like 2008 because
this is not real because I had niggas who was getting the bodega weed where I'm just like, this ain't.
Well, see,
That's
that's
New
different,
York.
though.
That's New York.
Right.
That's New York.
You
but
come out to LA, man. You come out to Southern California.
I will say,
that's
when I
different.
smoked some LA weed for the first time, I was like,
it's nuts.
well, I was like, what's going on?
Wait. Am I LA peeled? Are people in other areas still smoking bad weed?
Well, I mean,
I know there's levels to it. I will say
Yeah.
New York, the New York weed to me is like a couple steps down.
yeah, well, because
Bad weed does not exist in Los Angeles
But
anymore.
here's the thing.
Because the
there's a
dispensary...
MedMen
Well,
on every like
yeah,
third
because,
corner.
I mean, the earlier you legalize it, the more like people come in and innovate, whatever. If it's probably still illegal some places, right? Even though it's socially acceptable now, like legally you can't grow it, can't make it, so you still have to like go under the table, whatever. And it's never gonna be as good as when you can just like make it up and like tweak the THC levels here and do all that stuff.
Sometimes
Right.
I do be getting pissed when I like go into a dispensary and they try to like, hey, yo, this one do this thing, and I'm like, all right.
They're selling you
Hey,
a
give me
car
a-
I'm just like,
nowadays.
give me shit.
Put it in the bag.
Just
Put the weed in the bag.
Just put the fries in the
Put
bag.
Hey, they be like,
Put the weed in the bag.
what you trying to get into tonight? What's
Hey, listen, what year were you born? 1980. Listen, I got something that can send you back to 1984. Nigga, you smoke too much weed. Put the weed in the bag. I don't want no pipes. I don't want nothing. I want to get out of here before somebody see me. There's no shame in smoking weed. It's
cool.
It's great. You know what we should do? You guys want to come over this? Oh, I don't want Jomi's parents listen.
First of all, I don't smoke. Like, I don't smoke at all. I remember in college, my roommates, I
You
don't.
hear that? You hear that, Jomi's parents?
No,
He doesn't
Jomi
smoke at
don't
all.
smoke.
I don't smoke.
I don't
Weed.
believe you.
Y'all
course
know.
not.
What do you mean?
Of course not.
I've never got high before in my life. I promise you. That's like,
Y'all, can we please do a vlog where we get Jomi high for the first time?
why is that your first suggestion?
Hey, guys, can we please, guys? I'm telling you guys right now, we're gonna overwhelm the people.
Run the
Next
numbers
midnight
up.
munchies, we're just getting Jomi high. We just bringing this
They're gonna
guy.
be
Vlog
midnight
where we
munchies
get
for
Jomi
real.
high.
No, I have anxiety, bro. I went to a dispensary first time during the pandemic, right? Because my anxiety was so bad, right? So I was like, they were like, "Oh, CBD, you know, that's the thing." I was like, I still get texts from those guys because I was
You
was
still on the
terrified.
mailing list?
I'm still on the mailing list, bro. I was terrified, dog. I went in there, bro. Like I had my hoodie on, my mask on. And they're like, yeah, we got this stuff. I'm like, actually, nah, just take me to the gummies, bro. They're like, bet, we got these THC. No. Just the regular one, CBD, man. Just give me the lowest one. I was scared out of my mind, bro. I know what to expect.
This is
so
my
funny,
last weed story. I was not that high, but I was new to LA. All my lights were down. I had to take a shower. I'm getting ready for bed. All of a sudden, I just see like a light flashing through my window. I'm like, what's going on? I'm lifting up the window. I don't see any light. Shut it down again. Flashlight. I'm like, God damn. Next thing, all I hear, bang, 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 bang on my door. I'm like, what? Like, I was acting like, yo, they gonna run in here? I'll walk up. Dog, it's my fucking super being like, hey, you got some Amazon packages.
Oh my god!
I was like,
oh my god!
Hell no.
I get to it, bro.
That's it.
Hell
No,
no.
shit,
Look,
yeah.
I can come.
I'd have done the Liz on Agahi thing because you don't fucking scare me, nigga. I'm black. Like
Listen, we can still come over. Y'all can get high. You know what I'm saying? I'm a supporter, man. My roommates used to deal in college, man.
It was you high. And see how you just snitched? All right.
Look at that.
Statute
No.
of limitations,
You guys-
you don't count.
That is a wrap. This week on the Ringerverse feed, tomorrow the House of Art will give you their deep dive on The Last of Us Season 2 premieres. A lot to talk about. We did it here, but they're going to go even deeper. This week, the Midnight Boys will react to the finale of Daredevil Born Again, and later this week, but Mash breaks down The Last of Us as well. Our producers are Aleya, Zenieris, Jonathan, Kermah, Jomi, Adeniran on socials. Hashtag Jackson Jomi. Jackson Jomi on social. Additional production from Arjuna, Ramgopal. Chuck, take us out.
Don't kill the weed man. Joel's therapist sucks. Next episode, Ellie really got to chill on the pluck.
Woo!